One dream I'm at my dad's house. And there's a lot of people there. The people in the house, it's almost like they're trying to get a meal together. My niece is there, a lot of different people. And I seem to be sleeping out in the yard near the hillside. And maybe one of my nephews is sleeping out there too. Our great nephews, it's someone younger. In the same area, but not in the same bed. I remember at one point I leave the house. I'm trying to get the food together, and I've gone out and I've gotten some food, but I'm a little worried that I've got cookies, but they don't have nuts in them or something. But taken that food, and then I've gone out to check on my bed. Well, for some reason, a bunch of twigs have fallen on my bed, and there's a little hole in the hillside next to my bed where it's almost like a little, I don't know, something about the size of a doghouse, except it's just dug out of the hillside. I look at that because I want to make sure there's no snakes in there. Then I push some of the twigs off my bed. That looks a little suspicious, too. There's all these twigs and leaves on my bed, but I don't seem to knock them off the bed. I just move them around a little to make sure they're okay, because there's covers under that, so I don't seem to be bothered by that. Then I go back in the house because I'm still checking on whether people have food. I mean, it's just really crowded with people. Then I'm going to go downtown, and that's kind of like a shift in the dream.
So the purpose of the dream, the energetic purpose of the dream, is that as you're watching yourself dream this, you notice that your attention is going this direction and that direction. As you're having to cook something, or you're having to do this, and you're having to relate to a lot of people. In other words, some part of this dream, with all the activity of you having to move around in it and deal with all the people that were there and all of that, some aspect of that rubbed an energetic off on you that left you overwhelmed. And the image of your bed was a way of coming back and trying to go back into consecration of the energy so that it isn't all over the place. The purpose of dreaming something like this was to get you to recognize and identify that as you take on a greater beingness as part of a whole of yourself in life, you have the challenge of figuring out how to do that without losing boundary control. If, you're taking and dealing with the big party and all these people and whatnot, at some particular point, if you felt the vibration of that, it kind of estranged you from how you would like to feel yourself. And it can create even a type of frustration. You know that you're not necessarily being true to how you need to be. In that frustration, you can go and, in terms of trying to redirect it, it's like the twigs in a cave or something on your bed. You're trying to find some sort of order. Twigs actually can represent how something is over which way. But the fact that it's on your bed and whatnot, it's like you're pulling it back together so that it doesn't leave you like in the main part of the dream, having all these people milling around and you're having to do this, that, or the other in terms of responsibility and obligation amongst all these people. If you look at yourself, it rubs off on you. In other words, something gets taken away from how it is that you're able to be. You lose a concreteness inside yourself. And the other image is trying to go back, noticing that things or twigs or everything's astray and whatnot, and trying to pull it back together and into a focus. Only the difference in a dream like that for you versus a dream like that for me is you have to accommodate it in relationship to a greater whole that you're able to connect and tie into. In other words, all of it has to be absorbed as an overall cadence that's in your world. When you can do that, is when you can actually then start to have a meaningful effect in terms of touching things, because that's when you will have developed a greater wholeness to it all. The dream isn't going there and necessarily showing you that you do that sort of thing. The dream at this particular point is getting you to realize and identify how it is that you're being affected by your environment, and that you need to exercise a kind of discipline and take yourself out of that in order to be true to yourself.